I am Bernadette De Los Santos, born, bred, and schooled in Baao, Camarines Sur, further schooled in Ateneo de Manila University here in Manila. BidiBidi is my nickname, and it came about when we were kids. My elder brother could not pronounce Bernadette, so he was able to pronounce BidiBidi, and the name stuck with me. When I went back to Baao, where I was born and raised, I was painting since I was a kid, but I never went to serious schooling in furthering my art. But when I went back to Baao in 2004 after a stint in the US, I began farming. So it was here, it was when I was farming and I was meeting a lot of farmers, and I began to realize that the wives of farmers or the farming family are really economically challenged because from the time that they plant the crops until the harvest, they don't have any productive activity that they are engaged in. So because I'm a crafts person myself, I started teaching the women of my community the art and skill of sewing. And then I realized that embroidery has been a special craft in Baao, Camarines Sur, and it died when the computer-generated embroidery came into being. And so I began proposing to different agencies, some livelihood skills workshops, but it got always rejected. They didn't realize or they didn't understand why I wanted to teach hand embroidery again. In 2017, finally, DSWD realized the need to augment the skills of their 4-piece beneficiaries. So my proposal to DSWD got approved. That was also when I started teaching the women, 150 of them, the art and skill of hand embroidery. My paintings are of huge flowers. I am a farmer, so I am immersed in the natural setting of flowers. And so the flower images in my paintings are images that occur to me in my imagination. But my constant relationship or constant dealings with the farmers' wives led me to do some doodles and some drawings of women faces. And I started painting on them. It became so colorful. Actually, I have 12 faces that I have made. I call them the 12 disciples of BidiBidi. The women disciples of BidiBidi as a contrast to the all-male disciples of our church. I'm a Catholic also. And so the inspiration here is the women behind the hand embroidery. They are not exactly the faces of the women I know who do the embroidery for me, but they are images. The first time I tried to teach the women the hand embroidery skills, I got a lot of raised eyebrows. They didn't want to believe in the vision that I was seeing. The women attended the training just so they can get the kids and they can spend the day at the farm. And so in 2015, the first 50 women that I taught didn't pursue doing hand embroidery. It was only in 2017 that they began to realize that, because in 2017 I already started making merchandise made of fabrics with hand embroidery. So agencies then began to patronize my products. I started with 150 women. Not all of them pursued hand embroidery, but during the pandemic there was a resurgence, and because their husbands are from Manila, got laid off, they were going back to Baao and they couldn't find any jobs in our town, so they were going to my shop applying. So even those that have not undergone trainings, they taught themselves how to hand embroider through the videos they see online. And now I have more than 100 women who are working with me, both from the women that I taught and those that have not undergone the training. And aside from that, I have also taught some women to how to sew and do some patchwork out of upcycled materials. So direct and indirect women who work with me, more or less maybe in the 300 in that number. It's not only me who realized the importance of an artist immersing herself or himself in a community. If there's no designer who stays with the community, the skills just get forgotten. So in my case, I became an example of what an agency can do. You give them the people training, but you have to stay with the community so that product development will go right away after the training. So it became a full circle. So it's really important that an artist like myself, my art is very personal, my paintings. But when I made my art a community art, it has earned more meaning. It has enriched me in ways that I cannot imagine if I was just doing my own paintings. BidiBidi Enterprise is a social enterprise. Before I got to know what it meant, I got invited to teach about social entrepreneurship in Ateneo de Naga University, and that was only when I realized that what I've been doing in my farm and with my community is what a social enterprise should be doing. So, as a social enterprise, BidiBidi advocates for the education of the youth. My scholarship does not only mean free college education for those who are very intellectually gifted. It is open for anybody who wants to study. So aside from the education that we want to give to the youth of Bao Camarines Sur, we want also women empowerment. I have seen how poverty has put women in the back burner. Pag mahirap po ang family, walang say ang mga kababaihan. So when the women of Bao Camarines Sur, my community, started earning, they earned themselves the voice to have a say on how the family budget can be spent. So they also put a certain percentage of what they earn, however small it is. For example, lipstick. So they would feel good about themselves. So it's not just women empowerment in the economic sense of the word, but also women empowerment in self-esteem. And the third one is preserving the local and traditional skills, which is the hand embroidery. My town, Baao, has been known to be the embroidery center of Bicol in the 70s. In fact, a lot of families got rich in a certain barrio in our town because of hand embroidery. And so BidiBidi aims to revive this traditional skill, and in doing so, we not only preserve the skill of the community, we also uplift the lives of our Baoeño, my town mates.